We read today that private lawyers are set to appeal a decision by the Road Accident Fund to bring all litigation in-house. Times Live is reporting. They say the decision is unlawful and has thrown the courts into chaos. Collins Letsoalo is the Chief Executive Officer of the fund and joins me now on Monday lunchtime. Mr. Letsoalo, good afternoon to you and welcome. Why are there so many complaints? Why the pushback? And do you agree with the assertion that courts have been thrown into chaos?
Good afternoon to you and to the viewers. Jeremy, no matter how much people peddle a lie, it will never be the truth. And no matter how much they rehash the narrative, it will never be facts. The reality is that they've been saying this since last year, February, when we told them that we are trying to put RAF on a sustainable path. They know for a fact what a sustainable path means. We can spend 40% of what RAF gets on administrative costs, and which is about 17 billion, and 10 billion of that on legal costs. It just doesn't make sense, especially in cases where 99% of the time we settle the matter anyway. So there is no court that has been thrown into chaos. RAF continues to operate on a better footing than when this panel was still our panel.
Do you have sufficient in-house attorneys to do the job properly then?
Yes, Jeremy, we do. We have worked with the state attorney. We have hired close to about 100 attorneys, but you must remember that it's only the residual that has to go to court that would need a lawyer. Certainly from where we sit, we are quite comfortable that we have replaced this model quite well. It has got its own teething problems here and there. The biggest issue, Jeremy, is that they are still refusing to give us our files. So they must give us our files. Let's show them whether there will be chaos. If there is a chaos that is going to be created, is them refusing with our files still, while they know very well that they are not entitled to those files.
So what efforts are you making at recovering those files then?
Well, we are in court, Jeremy. They were given until the 1st of November, what we call the use judgment, that we are the ones that are appealing. The SCA has granted us leave to appeal, and we are appealing that. And we are going to make sure that when we go to court, to make sure that they give us those files, because it's in the interest of the public and those people that are claimants that those files come back so that we can settle these claims.
How can you say things are better when the Transport Minister says that the RAF is saddled with 45,000 claims that await settlement for a period that ranges between 5 and 10 years, and you need close to 50 billion rand to settle all outstanding claims? I mean, the reality is that simply isn't going to happen, is it?
Well, Jeremy, things are better from where we found them. The reality is that we found RAF in a very bad position. As I say, we collect 43 billion a year. We pay about 26 billion, but we spend 17 billion paying out that 26 billion. So it just doesn't make sense. So certainly we are starting. Part of it is to reduce this legal cost. We have set ourselves a target of 75% over the next 3 years. We should be able to do those things. I mean, Rome was not built in one day. The reality is that this system has been like this for a while now, and we are actually correcting that. Once we receive that money that we have saved, we have got about 7.5 billion that must go back to the claimant. So for ours, it's a no-brainer that RAF will sit in a better position for as long as these administrative costs are being reduced.
It might be a better position, but there's still no date for when outstanding claims are going to be settled. And that's not me saying that. That's the Minister, who says that the time settlement is unknown at this stage due to, and I quote, a multitude of variables, whatever that means.
Yes, the multitude of variables, Jeremy, means someone submits a claim with not enough information for us to be able to assess it. Someone submits a claim, and at a certain point, there are other people like doctors, like lawyers, like going to court. So you can't actually determine the time period within which we can settle those claims. We have set ourselves to settle these claims, the new ones, within 120 days, and that's exactly what we are doing. We are starting with the oldest claims first, and that's what we are doing. So we are saying South African must give us. Last year we said, give us another 3 years for us to be able to do that. We are left with 2 years to be able to turn this ship around.
So if I have an accident today, it's going to take a minimum of 2 years before I can expect any compensation?
Not in the current model. In the current model, we'll seek to do this within 120 days. Of course, we need another 180 days to be able to pay out the money that we owe you. So you'd have it within a year. In the current one, if you have got a new claim, the older claims are the ones that are going to take time. One, we don't have the files in other instances. But secondly, there are issues of assessments that needs to be done where we involve other people.
How close are you to getting those files?
Which funds, Jeremy?
Files, not funds, files.
Or the files. We are in court, Jeremy. We'll wait, and it will be depend on the court. Of course, there are people that have already returned some of those files. I think out of 86 law firms, we have got about 20 that have returned those files. The ones are busy discussing with us, and once that happens, the files will be back and we'll be able to settle those matters.
Collins Letsoalo, thank you very much indeed. From the Road Accident Fund, he is the Chief Executive Officer.